surname. I have no idea how to pronounce it.
I'll help you out. So it's Murtagh.
Oh no.
So just Murtagh.
Oh my god.
It's Irish.
Irish?
Yeah, a little bit of Irish in it.
And hey guys, today we have an amazing guest and a public speaker trainer. I hope I said it right. Kyle Murtagh from Confidence by Design. Kyle, thank you very much for doing this with us during these very weird times, and it's such a pleasure talking to you. I should make a confession, guys, and Kyle as well. I was a bit scared. You're a public speaking trainer, and it's such a pressure. So I'm really excited, and thank you again for coming.
No, thank you for having me, and no pressure, no judgment, no nothing. We're just here to learn, talk, and have a good conversation.
Well, about no judgment. So, guys, for you to know, and today I was stalking Kyle's LinkedIn page. Kyle won in May, so just very recently. What did you win?
It was a public speaking competition. Yeah, woo! It was for UK and Ireland finals on speech evaluation, which is basically evaluating, so judging, yes, someone's speech.
So no judgment.
Not today. No competing today.
From the person who just won basically a judging competition. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kyle, you're really young, and you started your company straight after you finished your degree. You haven't tried even working for office. You wasn't looking for jobs at all.
Well, I didn't try for office, but I have had a few other jobs in the past, while I was a student even, before I did this. Like for some of them, for instance, I worked in Germany at a kids' summer camp, kind of a camp counselor sort of role. I worked for WWF, you know, the wildlife charity. They sell the cuddly toy pandas. So I was selling them to Glaswegians on the street. It didn't go very well. I was even a lifeguard at one point as well. So I've done a few different things along the way. But it happened for me in university. Someone offered me an opportunity to speak in front of 600 people to do a small session for a group of students. The idea was because I could speak well in public and I was a student, that would inspire them or encourage them to do the same, you know, instead of seeing it from some 50-year-old guy who they can't relate to. And it went very well for me. And then that's when the seed was kind of sowed, if you like, and brought me on this journey of doing a bit more work and really wanting to make a business out of this once I graduated.
That's interesting. So I haven't yet met, have I? Yeah, no. I haven't yet met people who started business straight away after uni. So it's quite different and I would say unusual. Niall, did he done, I think he was working for someone, right? No? Oh, maybe I
couldn't find the job.
Okay. We can look back.
That's interesting. So, was it in terms of money and surviving? So you need to pay the rent and stuff. How was this part?
Very tough, much tougher than I anticipated. So some months, I mean, I think the big thing when you're getting started, you're just coming out of university, is you have no network, right? So you know no one, you don't have connections you can rely on, because that's often how business is done. You know, so people refer.
You haven't been doing any network with entrepreneurs during your uni?
No.
Why not? We have an amazing network.
Well, that's an excellent question. I mean, I don't know. I was just very locked into, I guess, the degree at the time and doing my dissertation. And these are all really bad excuses. I should have done it, but I didn't. And that's the fact. So it was more challenging for me when I did step out and didn't know anyone at all. And yeah, like you mentioned, I am young, and I definitely look young, especially with this, you know, new lockdown hairstyle. The mullet is back. The mullet is back. So it was hard for me to establish credibility in the first place, because people wonder, you know, what does this guy know? He's young. What could he possibly teach me? So I had to find a way around that obstacle. So those were some of the challenges getting started for sure.
Do you see this obstacle still present in your life? Do people still say something like you're young, they judge you based on your age?
Perhaps in some situations, but a lot less. I mean, people who in the Glasgow area who know me, they've probably seen some of my videos by now if they're on LinkedIn, and these really help me establish credibility. And then often when I start speaking, I speak with a lot of confidence and conviction. That's usually blown away, you know, afterwards. But at the initial, yeah, when you first view eyes upon someone, everyone's got their judgments, don't they? You know, we like to say we don't, but we do have our preconceived ideas of what that person's going to be like, and I guess that does happen.
To be honest, I kind of get rid of it because I met so many, again, through this YouTube channel, I met so many people who you're like, oh, this is gonna be that, but it's completely not that. For example, our last guest was entrepreneur who done like 100 skydiving jumps.
Oh wow.
And I was like, okay, I didn't see it coming. So at some point you just stop judging people, and I think Glasgow, so in Russia it's really I don't want to say judgmental, but you kind of have the perception of people, and you kind of trying to fit the certain concept of how you should look like.
Right, fit in sort of thing.
Yeah. What I like about Glasgow, there is nothing like that. So you can do whatever you want, you can wear whatever you want, you can be basically whoever you want, and people still gonna see the person behind that all. And it's what really keep me here for so long time, I guess.
Yeah, people make Glasgow.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's true. I think people in Glasgow, they're very open-minded, you know?
It's true.
They are very open-minded and accepting no matter who you are, what you're wanting to do, you know, which is good. And this has probably helped me a lot when I got started too, instead of being in a more closed-minded community.
Wait, so you're from Aberdeen, but you've been studying in Strathclyde in Glasgow?
Yes.
Correct?
That's right, yeah. So I moved from Aberdeen to study at Strathclyde. I think like everyone, they always want to get away from where they're from when it comes to studying. Well, you traveled a few countries over, so that proves my point there. And it was the same for me. You know, I wanted to get away from Aberdeen and see something new, and I did find that in Glasgow.
So how do you feel yourself? Does Glasgow feel like home now?
It does very much so. I really do love Glasgow. I love the people. There's so much you can do here. There's so much opportunity here. I just think it is a great place for anyone to come. The weather's not that great now all the time, but you know, sometimes sometimes you can film an interview in a park, so you can't complain.
Sometimes. So I mentioned before, I love the name Confidence by Design. How that name came into your mind?
Yeah, so that's a great question, because what actually happened for me, I was trying to think what would be a name which really spoke about my business, which got the message across straight away. And what I do for people is, what I hope and look to achieve is give them confidence, right? I want them to find their confidence when it comes to their speaking, whether that be on camera, doing an interview like this, or speaking in front of thousands of people. That's what you're trying to build at the end of the day. It all comes down to confidence. That's the foundation which public speaking, all forms of communication are built upon. Definitely. So that was what it was for me, and as someone who suffered a lot with low self-esteem when I was younger and had to build up my confidence, it just seemed like the perfect fit.
I like it, confidence by design. First of all, I like the word design and confidence. It's what I think, as you said, all of us definitely need in our life. What about your confidence? Do you have still some kind of fear when you speak to the camera or in front of public?
Not really. I mean, I've kind of got to a stage where I've done this so many times with repetition that it's very natural, and it's something I very much just look forward to. I've kind of flipped it a lot. I mean, sure, I still feel butterflies sometimes, all the things that people might associate with nervousness, but I interpret that differently as me being firstly focused, right? I'm focused on the task coming up, meaning I can give 100% and be at my best. And then secondly, being excited, looking forward to it, because it's this exact same feeling. So maybe I flipped the script, maybe that's why, but I don't really feel too many nerves now. Unless it's a very big situation, like that competition, for instance. I went through various different stages to get into the top 6 of UK and Ireland. I know it was, I had to perform, I had to do well to win that. So maybe in situations like that, but just speaking to a camera, being in a lovely park, no, I feel good.
Fair enough. Do you remember, is it like your natural traits, or I mean, I do know it's not your natural traits because I watched some of your videos. But so guys, Kyle used to be very shy.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
So just trust me on it. You can't say now, but it used to be.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask your story. I think it's all about confidence by design work kind of situation. But do you remember the most terrible, humiliating moment in terms of speaking to other people when you felt like OMG? I mean, probably not like that. No, I think, but something like I conjured, and it was.
Yes, I do. It was my first ever experience.
Oh, wow.
So I got into public speaking because I had 1 year left to graduate, and you'll be able to relate to this, Anna and Ariana as well, that when you come to that final year, you kind of confronted with that question, aren't you? What are you going to do with your life, you know?
Was it at high school?
No, this was at university. So I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And then that's when I started trying all those different jobs I mentioned before, and then stumbled across public speaking in the city chambers at Glasgow. I'm forgetting, George Square, sorry, not Glasgow Green, I'm thinking about the environment we're in.
Yeah.
So I went there to a speakers club, which is basically a place where people practice public speaking, and they always encourage people to do things called table topics. Have you heard of that before?
No, what is it?
It's when you're given a question out of the blue, no preparation at all, and you immediately have to answer it straight away. A 2-minute speech, so it could be on absolutely anything from what would you do if you were in power to what's your favorite cereal, Cocoa Pops or Rice Krispies. You just don't know what's coming at you. And my first ever question, it got me quite badly. It was, if a zombie apocalypse happened in Glasgow, where would you go, Kyle?
That's a good question.
And I was thinking to myself, like you thought there, OMG, you know, and all the expletives after that. So I got up there and I was looking at all these people looking back at me, and the fear just hit me like a ton of bricks.
I can feel it right now.
Yeah, really? Good. I'm telling it well then, because my mind was blank, I was panicking, and I literally came out with 2 words and sat back down. And that was my first ever experience, and it was really traumatic for me because it made me realize I had this fear of public speaking. You know, I'd never done public speaking before, but I knew I had to address it, because no matter what you do in life, Anna, whether it be in personal life or in professional, you have to face public speaking. So that's what kind of got me onto the journey. And we all start off by being pretty bad. Your first time's never going to be your best time, but over time you can develop and get better.
Yeah. Well, right now definitely you have very good energy. It's very easy, and I can feel your confidence, and it's really nice as we're having a conversation. It's really nice that I know that you're going to be fine. So I don't need to kind of take care of you in the conversation. It's nice.
It's a good point, because a lot of the times I think when people stand up and speak, the audience, they go through that same situation, don't they?
Like you feel uncomfortable for the speaker. You want to help the speaker.
Yeah.
And, it's really nice when you don't need to.
Exactly. You know, you're kind of worrying, is this guy going to be okay? But when they are good, then you can just sort of sit back, relax, and enjoy. And yeah, everyone can get to that stage, but you've got to understand it's a process. This didn't happen overnight for me. This was a good couple years of really honing my craft to get to the point I am now. We're more relaxed.
Okay. What about your inspiration? Do you have I know you following Simon Sinek, so how do you feel? What do you think about Simon Sinek? Because I love him. I love him.
Yeah.
It's like so motivational.
Yeah, he seems like a smart guy, doesn't he? Seems like he's got something going for him. I think he's very good.
So who do you want to be? Do you want to be a Simon Sinek? He's like mega star, right?
Well, I wouldn't want to be Simon Sinek. I'd want to be more myself and create my own thing. But yeah, I want to get to a point where I'm a well-known speaker and I can impact more people, because that's ultimately what you're trying to do with public speaking. You're trying to reach more people, and that's why it's more effective than networking in some senses, because you can't get around the whole room, but if you speak in that room, everyone will hear you. You know, and that's what, I want to get to that level, but not like Simon Sinek, my own brand, my own philosophies, my own ways going forward to help people. My philosophy, I would say, is a mixture of learning skills, exposure, and then mindset. So let's take public speaking for example. The 3 reasons people have this fear are those right there. They don't have the skills, right? They don't know how to project their voice. They don't know how to use their body language. They don't know how to structure a presentation. That's all things you can learn, okay? And that's how you get better and develop. It's like a degree, you know? You stumble into your business degree, you don't know anything, but by the end you end up passing an exam with whatever grade you get, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's just learning and acquiring the skills. Second bit is exposure. And this is a bit more challenging for people. With public speaking, that means actually speaking in public, putting yourself out there, you know? Because if you don't, it's like driving a car, right? If I can read about driving a car, okay, I can learn how to use a clutch and so forth, but unless I'm sitting in the car actually driving it, I'm never going to learn how to do it proficiently.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so it's the same thing with public speaking. And then the last bit, and this is probably the most sinister side, is the mindset. Because a lot of people, they hold themselves back in here, and that prevents them from doing anything out here. You know, so it's getting past those limiting beliefs up here. And that's the 3 philosophies I have on life right now when it comes to public speaking or any skill, really.
That sounds quite organized. Yeah, mindset, skills, and basically just doing it.
Yeah, action's the big one, really. Even when it comes to filming videos, so many people are obsessed with getting the right tech and things like this, when really it's just about stepping out there and put your first video out there. Because I bet you guys, when you first started, didn't do the best interviews in the world, but now you're rock stars, right?
So our first guest was our dear friend Chris Fowler. His surname I was struggling to pronounce as well. Chris, I'm nailing it. And it was quite funny. It took like 3 hours to shoot.
Oh wow! Okay.
We changed locations a few times. Yeah, and thanks God, Chris was very patient. And he's our dear friend, so it was like, you know, and we know each other very well.
Yeah.
So it was quite interesting conversation. And yeah. Do you feel the same? Do you still overcome fear, or for you it's already a pleasant experience?
If it's a new thing I'm doing, then it's a challenge. Like for instance, recently we all got shut down, we all got locked inside, so I couldn't present outside at all. You know, the public were gone. There was no public to speak to. So I had to figure out webinars.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge for me. I'd never done a webinar before. How's this going to go? Am I going to be able to interact with people? Is it going to be fun? Is it going to be boring? I had all these things to overcome.
I don't believe it can be boring.
That's very kind of you. You should see my early videos.
Are they published?
They're out there, yeah, they're out there. They're somewhere on the LinkedIn feed. You know, if you scroll back far enough, you might get there.
Guys, we will add links to those videos.
Thanks, appreciate that, I love that. But yeah, it was a new challenge, so it was something I had to overcome. And I'm always evolving with public speaking. If it's a new course I'm bringing out, then that's a new challenge, you know? So yes, I don't think I'm going to get bored of this field anytime soon, because there's so many different ways you can go in it.
Definitely. Do you have any kind of stories or maybe advices how to overcome struggles with this bureaucratic part of business?
What do you mean by bureaucratic part, exactly?
I mean, you need accountant, right?
Oh, right, okay.
You need to do like sole trading registration or limited company. How did you manage to do all this?
Yeah, it's a lot of leaning on other people for their expertise. I'm very lucky. People in my family used to be accountants, so that helps out. You know, you got to take advantage.
So good.
Yeah, it's a good lineup. Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
I just need a business coach as a father, and then I'll be set. You know. So that does help certainly. A lot of it I did it myself, like registering and so forth. It's learning. And
so you've been lucky. You had this help within your family. Did you use any bodies, like governmental bodies, university help in terms of building up your business?
No, I couldn't. I didn't look for that, and I also didn't see that probably is out there, and it probably is something a lot of entrepreneurs can, you know, have access to. I did do Business Gateway though. I went along to all the Business Gateway. They do free seminars on how to create a business plan, all of these interesting things. Ironically, I actually do work for Business Gateway now.
Oh wow.
Doing my own workshops and webinars.
Oh, maybe we can sign for it. What is it?
Yeah, it's on Speaking to Camera. I think the next one's on the 25th. 25th of June, yeah, June 2020.
Of June, guys.
There you go. Yeah. Keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. It's absolutely free to sign on, but they are a really good source for anyone getting started to just give you the basic overview of how to get into business. And I know they've got trainers in all these different fields, so that helps a lot. Google helps a lot as well. Just Googling it, yeah, and learning things on the fly. It's the same with everything. Like right now, I'm bringing out an audiobook. I'm preparing to launch.
Oh, I forgot to ask. It's so exciting. Yes,
Yeah.
so it's five pillars.
Yeah, the 5 pillars of effective public speaking.
5 pillars of effective public speaking. I think it's amazing.
Thank you, appreciate that.
so
You haven't read it yet because no one has, but I appreciate it.
The idea of creating audiobook, I think it's amazing. So when do you think it's going to be published?
Looking for the 7th of September is
Really? So
what I'm
quite
aiming for.
soon.
Yeah, relatively soon. It's mostly written. I'm just editing it now, and then I'm going to record it, then get all the design work done, and then release.
Oh wow, 7th of September.
I'm hoping for that date. That's the one I've got in my mind.
Let us know, we will buy it straight away.
Oh, appreciate that. Very
Yes.
kind.
So now we're going to move to Blitz round when we're gonna ask Kyle 5 questions. So 5 questions, very short answers. Try to be as short as possible.
Okay, one word.
It's the best. So first question, what does entrepreneurship mean to you?
Opportunity.
For me, it's challenge. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? More than one word.
More than one word for that one. Thank God. World champion of public speaking, and I want to grow confidence by design, so it's more or less across UK, and I'm one of the go-to companies for public speaking presentation skills. That's my goals.
Okay. So,
We'll see if we get there.
what is the most important in life?
Most important in life? I think happiness has to be, right? You got to, every day you wake up, you've got to be looking forward to something, okay? And you also need a bit of pressure in there to elevate you to your best.
Okay. Where do you want to live in the future?
Canada, I think Canada. Yeah, me and my girlfriend, we've always spoke about Canada.
Canada?
Yeah, well, you don't like Canada?
No, just like so random.
So right. It would have been a good answer if I said Russia, right?
Never anybody said that.
Yeah, no, I mean, one thing I love is nature. I love lakes, and Canada has some of the best lakes in the world, and they also have people who love speaking. They love speakers over there. I just think there's a lot of good opportunity.
And the last question, I think Kyle's girlfriend is not gonna approve. Is there happened that after public speaking events, somebody would start hitting on you or something?
No, I've never had the pleasure. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the mullet, I don't know. No, I've never had that. I've never had after a public speaking event. I won't go any further from that.
Please guys, follow Kyle's YouTube channel, and it is
Kyle Murtagh. If you just type in Kyle Murtagh, there's not too many Murtaghs out there. That's Murtaghh. You should be able to find me on there.
thank you on that, I couldn't pronounce it. Also, Kyle has LinkedIn, so if your company or you personally need to prepare for grant or public speaking events, or you need to present your idea just on video, please contact Kyle and ask for his advice and help. And I'm pretty sure there are different options you can help with, right?
Yes. One-to-one training, team training, you name it, we got it.
Perfect. And thank you very much, and stay tuned for more interviews with Scottish entrepreneurs.